Brought to you by Allstate, whose policies now include protection for your home, your family, as well as your car. You're in good hands with Allstate. And now, let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
And now, one of the most winning, attractive actors I know, who is enchanting audiences nightly by his facile performance in Under the Yum Yum Tree, Mr. Gig Young.
And on my left, a very talented newspaper columnist who will be spending this week in Washington covering the inauguration, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And now I'm sure you've all heard the show business slogan, the show must go on. Well, sometimes it doesn't because somebody gets sick. And one of our panel members is not feeling very well tonight because he's had a terrible cold. But he believes the show must go on, and so here he is, Bennett, Cerf.
And here is our mellifluent and Mephistophelian master of ceremonies, John Charles Daly.
All the time I thought Bennett had a cold. Didn't sound a bit like it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. It's nice to have Gig Young with us again tonight, since he joins the panel. And it's our purpose tonight to give the panel as difficult a time as we possibly can. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger after this. And now let's meet our first challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Right there. William Schnauts. Is that right, sir? Mr. Schnauts, where are you from?
Westport, Connecticut.
Westport, Connecticut.
That's right.
Well, that makes you practically a commuter into New York, doesn't it?
More or less, yes.
Virtually. May I present our panel, Mr. Schnauts?
How do you do?
Will you join me over here? Do you know how we keep score, sir?
Yes, sir.
Then in that event, we'll let the audience in the theater and those who are watching at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Snout is salaried and that he deals in a product, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Schnauts, is your product something that those of us on the panel might have?
Possible, yes.
Is it a product that is found in the home?
Yes, could be.
Is it a product that is now or ever has been alive?
No.
No. One down and 9 to go. Mr. Young.
Oh, my, not ever alive. Is it used more by women than men?
It possibly could be used by women, yes.
Wait, he asked if it was used more by women than men.
Well, no.
No. That's 2 down and 8 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
It didn't last long.
Well, then, would you say, in all fairness, Mr. Schnauz, that it is used by both sexes?
Yes, it could be used by both sexes.
And is used by both sexes, actually.
Are these human beings?
No.
Well, I hope. Yeah, actually, they...
Oh, you mean the product?
No, the people who use it.
Oh, yes, yes, sure.
Dorothy meant the people who use the product were human beings, and the answer is yes.
Well, to what does the no refer to?
The no there was whether the basic ingredient of the products might have come in the ultimate or basic source from other than...
But Mr. Schnauz has already said very, very clearly to Mr. Young that the product has never at any time been alive, so therefore the product must be made of something other than matter which has been alive.
That's perfectly true.
All right. So it is used by human beings.
It is true.
Now, I'm going to get a big fat no if I ask, is there any connection at all that this product has with animal life? Am I not?
No, if your question here is the substance from which this product is derived...
No, I'm not going to ask.
...in any degree...
No, I feel the whole thing is being very tricky. Could I buy this product in a department store?
It's possible, yes.
Would I be more apt to go to a specialty store?
Most likely.
Could I hold this product in my hand?
Yes.
It is then smaller than a bread box.
I think it's safe to say it's smaller than the average size bread box.
Is it solid rather than liquid?
It's solid.
Jackson.
Is there anything... may I ask if this is something other than an absolute necessity of life? Could we go on without having your product?
Yes.
So then it is loosely termed a luxury product.
I would say so,
Would it
yes.
ever be found at a party?
Beg pardon?
Would it ever be found at a party?
It might be, yes.
Now, let's say that it might be found at a party in the sense that those who attend a party could, in and of themselves, have some relationship to this product and therefore find that its proximity is not unreasonable, etc., etc.
Would it be possible that the buyer of this product would carry it about with him or her?
I would say, with your permission, that when the buyer of this product felt that it was proper and reasonable that the product should be used, that it would not be unlikely that the buyer would carry it about with him or her.
Is this product in any way dangerous?
No.
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Snout, Westport is loaded with advertising men and artists, famous artist school up there.
That's right.
Can I rule out advertising and art from your product entirely?
Right.
I mean, except for byproduct, but I mean, it's not connected directly with either the advertising world or the art world. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, it's never been alive.
Is this a...
That would rule it out.
I don't follow you.
You don't know as many advertising men as I do.
Would this product ever be consumed, Mr. Snout?
No.
No. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
I'm sorry, did Bennett ask if it could be consumed? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
The answer was no.
Now, well, as far as I can find out, all we know is that it can be carried, that it isn't too much larger than a bread box, and that it's not
It
made
isn't
of...
as large as a bread box.
All right, and that has nothing to do with animals, and it's not edible. Is it anything that is used by people for a particular sport or for a particular seasonal purpose?
Yes.
Yes, I think we could say in very general terms that it could be described as being used in those categories.
Would one use this for entertainment reasons, something that would make them, you know, happy and gay, rather than for an instructive reason or for an educational purpose?
I would say that there are cases, and I think that Mr. Schnatz will agree with me, when the product is used in relationship to purposes of entertainment, color, gaiety, camaraderie, badinage, Fagenheimer, and breechbreaker.
Well, is it anything that might be used in Washington during the inauguration?
Yes.
Is it decorative?
I think we would have to agree that it was decorative, yes.
Right.
Is it used to hang? Do you hang it?
No, I don't think
No,
we hang it.
very well.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Young. I'm going to give you 1 more minute.
Well, we've established one thing. I'm in serious trouble.
Could I make a suggestion? Could I ask for a conference?
You have a conference, 30 seconds.
Gig, there's been a lot of talk about the kind of hat that Mr. Kennedy's going to wear. Ask him if he makes high hats.
That's a good question. Do you make high hats?
Yes.
Yes. Actually, Mr. Snouch does more than make high hats. He's with the Hat Corporation of America, and they make, I guess, about every high hat that is made. The Knox hat and the Kavanaugh hat and the Dobbs hat. And he has made the hat which will be worn by President-elect Kennedy and by the Secretary of Commerce and by the Attorney General designate and, in fact, everybody in Washington.
And they're not going to hang them at all, huh?
Not the hats.
Not the hat. No.
Mr. Schnauz, do you mean to say the same company makes Knox hats and Dobbs hats?
That's right.
Well, what's
And
the
Kavanaugh
difference between
hats.
them?
Kavanaugh hats.
And the strangest thing about this, Bennett, they call the company that does this the Hat Corporation of America.
Figures.
Isn't that wonderful? Well, that's pretty good. I thought we had you stuck for a minute. Yes, Dorothy?
Well, it wasn't my question. I think it was Arlene's, but hasn't Mr. Schnauz ever heard that song, Any Place I Hang My Hat Is Home?
It's true, you know,
That's gonna be
John. I
home
wouldn't argue
sometime.
about it. It's exactly what I had in mind, you understand?
Yes, that's what I've got in mind, too. Thank you very much, Mr. Snouch. It's been
Thank
fun
you, Mr.
having you
Dale.
with us and what's... All right, let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Miss X. I will just say very quickly, because we have some knowledge of the wide areas of interest which are exemplified in our panel members, we have asked our second guest just to write X because the name might give you some identification. That's the fair thing there. But you would tell us where you're from?
I'm originally from Bayside, Long Island, New York.
Bayside, Long Island,
Right.
New York originally, and been active ever since. And would you like to meet our panel, Miss X? Will you join me over here, please? You know how we keep score, Miss X?
Yes, I do.
All right, in that event, panel, we'll let the audience hear and the folks at home know exactly what Miss X's line is. All right, we can tell you that Miss X is self-employed and deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Miss X, besides being beautiful, you also look extremely healthy. Does your work require any physical dexterity?
Yes, it does.
Is it connected with any form of athletics?
Yes.
Would it be a form of athletics that might be used in a theatrical way?
In a way, yes. It could be.
You're very kind. That's 1 down and 9 to go. Miss Francis?
It could not be used in a theatrical way. Are you, do you excel in something that is gymnastic in its expression?
No. Ooh, wait a minute. Don't let's walk into this one. Let's have a few simple terms of reference as to what is meant by gymnastic.
Well, I really had nothing in mind. Just thought I'd get a yes and I could stay on for a minute. I mean, requiring the dexterity of being able to chin bars and being able to kick high, being able to handle
Kick
your
low.
body in a gymnastic way.
Well, I would say this, that certainly a degree of physical well-being is important to the service which Miss X
All right.
delivers, and therefore we'll, if you
Okay.
understand our term of reference, we're not understanding
Sure.
yours, but, you know.
Well, may I ask if you, Miss X, have anything to do with an outdoor sport?
Yes.
Is the outdoor sport something that usually takes place where it is snowing or
Yes.
has snowed? Do you have anything to do with skiing?
Yes.
Are you a skiing champion? Or are you a skiing finalist
Yes.
Something like that.
in the U.S. Olympic team?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, there we are.
What does Miss X do now?
Oh, she's
Oh.
Oh, she doesn't she doesn't ski anymore, huh?
We are.
Does she? Yes,
Is that your question?
Are you skiing now?
Not at the moment, no.
Not right at this moment, but is still active in skiing.
She's still active in skiing. Is she a teacher, an instructor, a ski
Good,
instructor?
right. And you will understand it's Miss Penny Pitou from Laconia, New Hampshire, which is...
Excuse me, might I make, it's Guilford, New Hampshire. We're
Guilford,
very
New
proud,
Hampshire.
Yes, 600 people.
600 people
Right.
in Guilford, but the largest community in the area is Laconia. I went to Tilton School, which is near Guilford, but Laconia is still the largest community in the area, right?
Something like that,
Something
yes.
like that. But more than that, Miss Penny now runs a ski school of her own, and actually was an Olympic champion in the giant slalom.
And downhill, yes.
And
I won
downhill.
2 silver medals.
She's won 2 silver medals at the Olympics, and now has got a ski school of her own.
Might I mention where?
Yeah.
At the Belknap Mountain Recreation Area in Guilford, or Laconia, New Hampshire.
I'm glad you said that, because when I was a small boy at Tilton School, I used to climb Mount Belknap
Did you?
in the summertime when there was no snow on it.
You won't have to do that anymore. Just come up to our ski school. We have wonderful lifts and terrific instructors, and we can take care of
If
all
you've
of
got
the
a lift, I'm your
facilities.
next candidate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss
Thank you,
Penny. Nice
Mr.
to have you with us. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. Now we come to the special part of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which, as I think we all know, the panel is always blindfolded. Are the blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger, and sign in? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you a performer in any...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Cerf?
Did I bump into you at lunch the other day?
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
And the way he sounds, he would have knocked you over anyway.
Lucky thing.
Are you a performer in the picture world?
Yeah. Mr. Young?
Are you larger than a breadbasket?
Substantially.
You're primarily a motion picture star. Or actor.
No. No, I would say that we'll give it no, 2 down and 8 to go, but that could be yes and no, depending actually on where the subjective interest of the decision was lying.
John.
Miss Kilgallen?
Please, John, some of us aren't feeling well. Is the area of interest possibly sometimes in supper clubs or recording studios?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Are you at present playing in some show in the Broadway area?
Yeah. Miss Francis?
Is it a straight play rather than a musical?
Yeah. Mr. Young?
Oh, it's a straight play. Oh, is it about...
Go ahead, Jake.
Is it about politics?
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
That rules out almost everything. Were you born somewhere other than the United States?
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Has the play opened since October 1st?
Yes. Miss Francis?
Are you... Are you in a play that has to do with the theater in a way, and are you... I haven't even finished. Are you one of the most ingratiating, charming actors in the theater? Are you Henry Fonda?
Yeah.
dinner.
The name of the play is The Critic's Choice, which I neglected to say. And marvelous you are, as everybody knows that has seen you.
Thank you, Arlene.
Bennett, whom did you think you'd met at lunch this week?
Well, I saw Hank at dinner. I had the wrong meal.
Oh, this is what you mean, dinner tonight?
No, just the other night.
Ah, well, because you had your cold, though, you know.
Yeah, I confidently expected George Goebel tonight.
But the Critic's Choice, and I've been away, Hank, for 4 or 5 weeks. When you've been open how long? For?
December 14th.
December
It's about
14th.
4 weeks.
I went away December 16th. But is this not the play that is written by Mr. Kerr's wife?
No. This is hour 11, taken from an idea that he got from Walter Kerr's book.
From Walter Kerr's book.
How Not to Write a Play was the name of the book.
Ah, good fun.
It's got some of the funniest jokes in it that have ever been. Just wildly humorous jokes.
Well, I must say, I think it's only fair to confess everything at the early part of the year. We've been trying to get Hank or Henry Fonda on What's My Line for a long time, and I'm happy to say we start 1961 with a bang. We've got him with us tonight, and we're tickled to death. Thanks very much. And we'll have another contestant after we have a word from our alternate sponsor. And now let's meet our final challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? William E. Bera?
Bera.
How are you? All right, panel. We're running very short of time. I will tell you that Mr. Bera is from New York City. Meet the panel and come with me. Do you know how we keep score, Mr. Bera?
Yes, sir.
All right, fine. We'll let the folks in the theater, those at home, know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, I'll be quite frank with you. We expect to have some fun with this. We will tell you that Mr. Bera is salaried and he deals in a product. And we'll begin with Gig Young.
Would I use your product?
Yes, sir.
Is your product used mostly in the home?
Yes.
2 yeses in a row. Is it a product that one would find enjoyable?
Yes, sir.
Used properly, certainly. Yeah.
Used properly, certainly. Is it edible?
Yes, sir.
It is edible. Is it fattening?
Let's say it's consumable anyway.
It's consumable.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that is eaten with meals?
Sometime.
Is it eaten? Oh, yes, we've established that humans eat it. Is it eaten more with one meal than the other two?
Which one? What, I mean, pardon me. Which one?
Parlay
About
going
the
here
other
for
two?
me.
Huh?
Is it? Well,
You mean
I'll
more
skip
with
that one
breakfast
because
than
I'm
the
not
other
gonna
two?
know. I beg your
More
pardon?
with breakfast than the other two meals?
Yes.
That's 1 down and 9 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Bera, would your product be drinkable?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Oh, it is drinkable.
Well, you said it was consumable and edible.
No, what we did was to change the edible
you
to
edited
consumable,
that.
and you have now put it down in very specific terms. It is drinkable,
It
yes.
is drinkable. Is it drinkable by human beings?
Yes.
When it is drunk, is it usually cold, Fahrenheit?
Room temperature, yes.
Room temperature.
Oh, you said cold. That's no.
No.
That's 10 down and no more to go because we just ran out of
One
time.
crack at it, is it something that makes you thin?
Yeah, could, if you use
Like
that.
Metrical or something like
No,
that?
actually, it's vinegar.
It's what?
Vinegar. Mr. Bera works for Standard Brands Incorporated. He sells vinegar. Isn't that wonderful, fun?
Thanks very much.
And it was good fun tonight. Nice to have you with us, Gig Young. And on a happy note, good night, Miss Arlene Fraser.
Good night, Mr. John. Good night, Gig dear.
Good night.
Good night,
Dorothy.
Come again. Good night, Ben. I hope your cold's better.
I hope you all have a good time at the inauguration. Good night, John.
Well, thank you, Bennett. I hope your cold gets better. You're hard enough to get along with when you're perfectly healthy. And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Totten.
Friends, this is Bud Collyer. Who else? That is to remind you to tell the truth tomorrow night on most of these stations.
What's My Line?